Very much, Carol, for that beautiful insight. For those of you that have just joined us, you are most welcome to the first show. We are done with the press review, and now we also just got done with the global exploration. And now we are going to be diving straight into what we call our topic of discussion. We are going to be discussing Moses Kibalama, Nkonge, and the NUP saga. There is a lot surrounding that story, but I'm pretty sure that Latifa Hamid has been following up on this story keenly, and I trust that she has more information. Tifa.
Well, we have two names, and that is Difasi Basile and Hassan Twala, and those are the two people that went to court, and they were telling court that Kibalama unlawfully or illegally sold the party to Robert Kyagulanyi, and they were disputing this particular selling in court of the party. Now, Justice Musa Sekana threw out that petition saying that, no, it's not true what you're saying, because when Kibalama was taking in the party, you know, we all saw what happened. And we also know that Hassan Twala and his colleague Difasi is the name, Difasi Basile, the two people who took the petition, were not there when Kibalama was signing that particular party to NUP. Now, you keenly remember when Kibalama came on video, and the video was recorded, and a lot of people said that video should have been coerced. They said Kibalama must have been forced to give that particular information that he did in that video. In that particular video, Kibalama was seated in a hotel or a balcony of a hotel room, and in his recording, he said his party was sold to Robert Kyagulanyi, and Robert Kyagulanyi did not pay the money that they agreed upon, so the party does not belong to Robert Kyagulanyi, and he wants his party back. However, Kibalama is the same person who was seen shaking hands with Robert Kyagulanyi, saying he is proud to give his party to such an enthusiastic young man like Robert Kyagulanyi. Later we saw them going to court, and Kibalama saying that what he is saying is the party was not sold because the party cannot be sold. However, the money that he is asking from Robert Kyagulanyi was, of course, not written, but it was a handshake, you know, a gentleman's agreement of that money. And he says, fine, we didn't sell the party. No, we did not. Parties are not being sold, but Robert Kyagulanyi forced me, Simon Cries, to sign those papers to give the party to him. He said he was forced by the NUP party, and he signed it against his will. Later on, Kibalama went into disappearance. And when he came back, of course, Kibalama was with Robert Kyagulanyi in court, but he was vying against Robert Kyagulanyi. And then he whispered in Robert Kyagulanyi's ear, saying, I was tortured, my nails were pulled off, and I was hurt during the process, and they told me to say all the things that I said. When Robert Kyagulanyi came back and talked about it in media or on social media, Robert Kibalama went back and said, it's not true, I didn't say that to Robert Kyagulanyi. Nobody tortured me, fine. I was taken by security agencies, and I was taken to Jinja, and we talked about a number of things, but I was not tortured. Now, here's the thing about the Robert Kyagulanyi-Kibalama case, which Kibalama is bringing back to court as we are speaking, and he's still insisting that Robert Kyagulanyi illegally owns this party. Now, this is not the first or the second or the third that Kibalama has come contradicting himself about the ownership of the NUP parties. Not only Kibalama, we have the two gentlemen that I mentioned earlier who also came up and said, no, Kibalama illegally gave the party to Robert Kyagulanyi. He didn't follow the protocols of the party. Now, later on, Kibalama says, I am taking away this party because Robert Kyagulanyi is not doing what is supposed to be done. He's not following the rules and regulations of the party like we had put forward, and he's breaking them, so I want my party back. What do you make of the in and out Robert Kyagulanyi-Kibalama court sessions, and the number of statements that Kibalama has put and pulled and put and pulled, and now he's going back to court at a time that Robert Kyagulanyi is also in court fighting against the fact that he lost in the elections, and he's not agreeing to it. And Kibalama himself was, during the elections, during the parliamentary elections, Kibalama had said that he wants the party pulled out from Robert Chagulanyi, and the judge was asking himself, that is Justice Musa Sekana, we only have a few days to the parliamentary elections. You want us to pause it until the case comes to pass. Now, what happens if we rule in favor of Robert Chagulanyi? What happens to the members of parliament who missed their seats? Now, we're coming back in the same position right now with Kibalama back in court. What happens if they rule against Robert Chagulanyi?
That's a good analysis and a good update. But we've read and heard about quite a number of statements coming from Moses Kibalama Nkonge. And some of the statements are contradicting each other.
The others he made in the beginning.
One, let's go back from the very first statement he made when he was handling over the party.
Yes.
He said he's not selling the party to him. He said, Kambyoge mu Uganda nga byogera. Situnda kibiina wabula nchimuwadde era singa mu maaso awo ebintu bitereera atukiriza nti ajja tujjukira. Nga leadership evuddeko will be considered. He said such statements. Then later words came changing. Different statements came out, like you said, during the court sessions. Now, NUP has registered about 55 members of parliament, and which has dominated the number of members of parliament from the opposition side. That means it's going to attain different positions in the August House. One, leader of opposition, Kosase head, and different and chief whip will also come from NUP. So when you look at all these, as a Bible scholar, I want to refer...
He's quoting the Bible.
Yes, I want to quote the Bible because when I was growing up, I was told that if you want anything in this world, it's in the Bible. And nothing that is happening today that never happened million years or thousands years ago. There's nothing new. It's just the same thing. So let's refer to the Bible and make my own opinion in regards to what's happening between NUP and Omukulu, Moses Kibalama Nkonge. The Bible talks about in James chapter 1 verse 8, it speaks about a double-minded person. A double-minded person must not wait to receive anything in this world. So if you're double-minded, you wait to receive anything. You wait to receive not anything in this world. I rest my case.
Well, our question today is, can Kibalama be trusted? I mean, we are in a position whereby Kibalama has made statements and counter-statements to the point that Justice Sekana threw out the petition of them challenging, one, the name change from NUP, from NURP to NUP, and second, the ownership of the party. Now we're here and Kibalama is taking it back to court. Is Kibalama wasting Uganda's time? Is Kibalama wasting the court's time? Is Kibalama wasting our time? Or do we give him a benefit of doubt? Do we let him go to court? Maybe he has more evidence from the time that he has been away. Do you notice that Kibalama has been away from a very long time? Away from media, away from the courts, away from this particular session whereby he's accusing Robert Chagulanyi of illegally owning the party. So do we trust him now that he is going back to court? And as you call us, of course, to give us your views, ensure that you let us know why you think Kibalama cannot be trusted. Or should we give him a benefit of doubt? Maybe he has more evidence to show why he thinks that Robert Chagulanyi is illegally owning this party. And what next for NUP?
Uganda is a democratic country.
What next for NUP?
And we believe in the rule of law, rule of law. And let's wait and see what exactly will come out of court. But then our viewers must also contribute towards this question. As they look at this story, what would be the observation? All of us have been, or some of us, have been keenly following up on the Kibalama's issues and the NUP and then the previous leadership. So, looking at the fact that Kibalama wants to go back to court, okay, claiming ownership of National Unity Platform, what is your view? Can Kibalama be trusted? Omukulu Moses Kibalama Nkonge, ebigambo bye tusobola okubyesiga. What should we do about that?
NURP was the name of the party. And of course, Kibalama held the party from December 2004 to July 2021, when he finally gave the party to Robert Chagulanyi. Now, all this time, he was running NURP, but personally, I don't think I had heard about NURP until after Robert Chagulanyi and the NUP Party took over to turn it into NUP. Now, when we see the history of NURP and NUP now, a lot of people are saying that NURP, of course, was lying in a coffin until Robert Chagulanyi came and gave it life, like Jesus gave life to the dead and brought it to life. Now, Kibalama says it is time that Robert Chagulanyi pays them for taking over the party.
But I think it's in the constitution of this country that political parties are not for sale. So if he's asking for money, the constitution is very clear. Political parties are not for sale.
People
maybe
power.
It is a gentleman's agreement that maybe he wants maybe a token of appreciation. Maybe it's in that line. But if it's about money and exchange for service or commodity, no. It's illegal.
Here's the thing. Let's look back at people power and how they started, and the fact that they really wanted to be a political party bus, because they were saying that as people power, they would not be allowed to run and put up a presidential candidate or even members of parliament, because they were not a political party. So in 2018, NUP wanted to register, people power by then wanted to register their party as people power. Now, when they went into the registrar, they found that the party had been registered as an old
NGO.
people's association, like an NGO, but an old women's NGO. And what they did is they pulled back and they said, what's plan B? They went to Jema as a plan B. And we saw people power having a connection with Jema, and we thought the people power was going to turn Jema into their party. But no, it was just, how do they call it? A partnership between Jema and people power. And we also saw that in the midst of all this, there was a confusion. FDC party members would put on people power barrettes and then say we're FDC, but we're also people power. And people from different political parties would do the same. So people power was quite confused about what to do. Now, later on, before we knew it, we found out that NUP, people power had registered as NUP. And then there also came the firing of 5 people from Electoral Commission. And there were allegations that the people who were fired because Robert Chagulanyi registered NUP without their knowledge.
Actually, there were 8 people. STV, the first show.
Good morning, Latifa and Chris Makanga.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Your name?
You are talking to Fazil.
Yo, Fazil from...
How are you, Fazil?
Nansana.
Nansana.
I'm fine. How are you?
Welcome back from the weekend.
Thank you.
So Fazil, Kibalama is back in court, and he's saying that he wants his party back from Robert Chagulanyi. 1, should Kibalama be trusted? 2, what does it mean for NUP as a party?
I think at my side, let me hope that that thing they are doing is like a dramatic. Kiringa kyakuzanyisa ekibiina ky'abakibalama ekyo si kya Kibalama yekka, abantu just Kibalama balinga gwe bakozesa obukozesa ne basuula waawo ekintu ng'ekintu kyabwe kyakuzanyisa oba kyakuzanyira mu bwongo bw'abantu, because bw'olaba Kibalama saawa zino Kibalama alinga omuntu ali awo bw'atyo atategerekeka. Saawa zino kati balinga abamutadde ku pressure nga bamubanja ekintu kyaffe wakiwaayo, naye kati Kibalama olina kikomyawo. Ne ku lwekyo nze kye ndowooza nti Kibalama si ya heading ekintu ekyo. Ekibiina ekyo kiteekwa okuba nga waliwo abantu abakiri emabega. Kati nga jasi Kibalama bamukozesa bukozesa
Do you think NUP should be scared?
Abenge ekintu kyabwe akizanyisa eno n'akizza eri era ekyo ekintu ekyo tebakiraba ng'ekyokusaagisa. Waliwo abantu abakikozesa abakirimu emabega abakizanyisa emabega, naye nga kiyinza okuba nga si Kibalama. Lwakwa Kibalama omuntu atuuka ne mu kkooti n'atandika okukaaba ng'omwana omuto. Ne ku lwekyo nze ndabira ddala nti ekintu ekiringa jasi ekyokuzanyisa buzanyisa awo ekibiina bakiteekawo nga kintu kyabwe kyakuzanyisa buzanyisa.
Fazil, Although the
Yep.
NUP should be scared about Kibalama taking this back to court.
Yeah, they have to be scared. NUP ino kutya. First of all, NUP temanyi kibiina ekyo wa gye yava. Nekulwekyo kati NUP kyerina okukola kintu kimu. Bo nga bo balina okusala amagezi balabe nga bafuna ekibiina ekyabwe. Otherwise tebali safe n'ekyo ekibiina kya Kibalama. Kikya Kibalama. Era gye bujja mu maaso ojja kulanga ekintu ekigenda kigenda kyeyongerayo. NUP teri safe n'ekyo ekintu ekyo. Beetereeze. Baveeyo nga NUP beetereeze naye baleme kuba ku drama ng'oyo tekijja bayamba nze ge magezi ge mbawa.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much and have yourself a good day.
You too.
Fazil. If you have political lenses, Latifa, you can choose to borrow them or ignore them. But if you choose to open them, one thing that you can see is that there is a money issue involved in this because 55 members of parliament dominating the opposition side, each member of parliament has a token of appreciation or a cut that is deducted from his salary or her salary and goes back into the political party. So, STV The First Show.
Hello.
Yes.
Good morning.
Morning, Chief.
Your name and where you're calling us from?
Amanya kiba betungula dentistatias.
Yes.
Kakati nze nga bwendaba ekibiina ekyo kiriko bannyini ekyo ate baleka abantu gavumenti. Kakati NUP tebayinza kikkiriza kibiina kinyere kya Kyagulanyi era balina oteekawo kiremya yonna era ensonga lwaki Kibalama omulaba nti akomyewo era waaba omusango gwennyini guli gwe yali aliko. Kati NUP erina okwesiba bbiri erabe era ng'ogwo omusango eguwangula oba si kyo babeeko engeri gye bayinza ekiyiira bafune ekibiina ekyabwe oba bakikyuse oba bakole batya Kibalama abe ng'avamu ezo ensonga. Byebyo ebyange bannaabe.
Tweyanziza nnyo toyanze olunaku olulungi.
Do you think that it would highly affect the NUP parliamentary committee or the people who went through, and of course Robert Chagulanyi's petition, if the court decided that NUP was to be given back to Moses Kibalama? Would it affect their sitting, or would it just affect the ownership or the leadership of the party?
To my observation, it will only affect the ownership. But to avoid all this, I think Robert Chagulanyi Senator Mol, let's first speak to this person.
Hello.
Hello, STV.
Hello.
Good morning.
Morning, how are you?
We're doing
good.
great.
How are
Your
you?
name and where you're calling us from?
This is you, Ronald, calling me from Masaja.
Ronald, how is Masaja this morning?
Masaja is fine.
I love the energy. It's a Monday. So what do you make of Omukulu Moses Kibalama Nkonge's going back to court? Do you think he can be trusted?
The issue is not about trusting Kibalama. What I know, there are procedures and protocols to be followed. There's no way you can talk of like trusting Kibalama. Now Kibalama is a gone case. This thing was won in the courts of law. The NUP is existing in a lawful way. So there's no way, even if we go to court, try to do this and this. This is just maybe something that they are doing to blackmail the National Unity Platform, and maybe to make people who are following National Unity Platform lose hope. Hence, otherwise, NUP is there, it's going to stay, they are going to do everything they can, but the party is there, and there is no way they are going to go to court and maybe the court rules out into Kibalama's favor. This is something which is done.
So
The
you're
NUP
saying there's
won,
no need
and now
for NUP
no
to
way
be
you can
scared?
do it. Thank you.
Oh, he didn't hear the question. But here's the thing. For Kibalama to take it back to court, and for court to take it back, means they're allowing him to take it back to court. And of course, our last caller said that it doesn't hold water. The case is useless because it has been thrown out before. Remember, the one that was thrown out was between Twaha and Dafsil. And then those are the two people whose petition was thrown out. And now we have Kibalama who has come back. And remember that there was no conclusion to Kibalama's case, especially at the time when he came back and was alleging torture from, of course, the police. Hello?
STV The First Show.
Hello.
Good
Yes.
morning.
Morning, my sister Stephanie.
How are you doing? Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm Hemlock from Namboli.
Henry, how are you doing this morning?
I'm great at
Henry, should Kibalama scare the NUP party?
I'm back.
Why
Is
is that?
just a comedian. You know, comedian just kusumbua.
Kati kyogamba NUP party Tetia, they should continue with their affairs.
Yeah, wali omusumbuyi naye wali abafesi abamupushinga akole kyako naye yali just comedian wasting time kukola linnya ali beba n'abantu abatasana kubeera na mu ggwanga.
Well, he seems to think that NUP party shouldn't be scared. You remember
But anything can happen
when
as long as it's in
Kibalama
court.
was taken by, of course, the security agencies, and Kibalama accused the security agencies of that, and the security agency says, no, we did not do that. It was under Kaka by then, and he said we did not do that. Now, we know that there was a time the NUP party was trying to get in touch with Kibalama to tell him, come down, we're going into elections and we don't have time for this. And they said they were unable to reach Kibalama. Now, Kibalama said that he did that for his own safety because he was scared for his life. Now, there were two parts of that story.
You know,
one, they say he was scared for his life because the security agencies were keeping him from seeing anyone and they were keeping him from talking to anyone. Yet Kibalama was saying, I was scared of the NUP people.
Amen. STV The First Show. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, how are you doing?
We are doing great.
Hello?
Company either yourself.
Yes. Good, how are you doing?
We are great. How about
Very
you?
fine. Hello.
We can hear you.
You have an
Yeah, I'm
echo
good. How are you
in
doing?
the background. In order for us to hear you, you need to reduce your TV and then we can talk proper. Hello, you are on the First Show.
My name is Simbwa Paul.
Simbwa, how are you doing?
I'm very good. And I'm calling from Kawempe.
Abakawempe, tell them we said hi.
Yeah, now,
Yes.
there's something that I'm missing out on that topic of Kibalama. Because I'm one of the respondents onto that issue. I'm respondent number 9.
Okay.
We have not gone to court to accuse anybody in NUP. But we are equally accused persons together with Kyagulanyi. I wonder how the media misinterprets, because I saw that memorandum of appeal that you showed. The Basile Twala, the Basile Difas, and the Twala Hassan are the same people who have gone to court of appeal
Yes.
because they were not satisfied with the ruling of the first
Yeah, the
complaint
petition
that they
was
lodged
thrown out.
against us. But today, the main topic is Kibalama has gone to court. I've been the Secretary General of NURP. I've been the Secretary General of NUP. Today, I'm the Senior Administrative Secretary of NUP. And Kibalama is the head of the Advisory and Elders Forum in NUP.
Absolutely.
So we need to face realities. He's not abbreviated that he wants money, but there is some misinterpretation. These people have gone to court of appeal. And we are equally respondents like the Kyagulanyis.
Simbwa,
Yes.
I'm glad to have you on this phone today because you're so important to this conversation. And I'd like to ask you, Kibalama was questioning the legality of the ownership
of the party.
NUP as a party to
Now,
Robert Kyagulanyi.
Latifa,
Yes.
I've been with Kibalama, and I'm with him. I want to tell you honestly.
And what are you talking
Kibalama,
about?
No, what I'm saying is, she has just posed the question that Kibalama went to court opposing the ownership of NUP, which is not true. It was these two members who dragged us to court. Okay? Then, at some point, when we went when we were requested, because for us we were respondents, when we went to court, the case was they just turned us into applicants, yet we were respondents. Today we have not gone to court, me and Kibalama. But those two people who went to court the first time are the very people who went to court of appeal. You can look at the memorandums of appeal and you see clearly that I'm respondent number 2. It is the question, it is the point in question. It is not anything to do with the first case, but the people who reported first have taken us back again to court of appeal. So we are supposed to rejoin with those of Kyagulanyi because you can look at the memorandums clearly.
Simbwa,
Yes?
you say that you have met with Kibalama.
Yes?
And what are you talking about?
What I'm saying is, I want you to get me right.
My question
we actually do.
we do
Yes.
understand you very well and loud
Yeah.
and clear. But my question is, you said you
Yes.
have met with Kibalama.
Mm.
What were you discussing about?
I'm saying, can you hear me right?
Yes, we do.
Kibalama is the head of Elders and Advisory Board Forum. That is in NUP. I'm the Senior Administrative Secretary of NUP. So there is no reason as to why I don't meet Kibalama. And for any reasons, before even we assimilated in the People Power team into NUP, I was the Secretary General of NUP. So there is no way you can tell me I met Kibalama, what we were discussing. I always meet him and I'm going to meet him this very time. Actually, when I saw the show, I called him and told him, tune into STV so that you hear clearly what people talk about you, which is
Simbwa.
not right.
Simbwa,
I can hear you.
my last question to you.
I hear you.
In your observation, what
Yes.
is Moses Kibalama's primary interest in NUP?
Now, issue here is, as the founder of the party, I've heard people saying it is NRM party. Never, it has never been. And when we assimilated the Kyagulanyis into the team, he was supposed to play his role. Okay? It was not about money, but which role he has not been supposed to play. That is his challenge.
What
and
role
for
was
him,
that?
I'm saying he is the chairman, elders, and advisory board of NUP. Okay? Have you ever seen him talking about NUP anywhere? That means he has not been given space. And if he feels abbreviated, he's an old man. He's right to feel abbreviated. We are not talking about money as the media wants to portray it. But truth must be told.
Simbo, just to correct you, we're not assimilating anything. He himself, Kibalama, came live on a video footage speaking about the illegality or the ownership of NUP and the fact that there's money owed to him
You
by
see?
the NUP party. What do you say about that video that came out that particular day? And it was Kibalama's face.
But I'm sure he came out and cleared that.
That's the problem. There's a lot of contradiction, Simba. And what people are
You
trying
see,
to understand
Latifa,
is the various
Latifa,
contradiction. Yes, Simba.
Latifa,
Yes.
I would pray. If there is any clarity that you people want to get, I've been the Secretary General of NUP before David Louis Rubongoya came in. You know, people get time, invite us there. We can come and clear out these messes that people are fed on wrong information. I've just had one of the callers saying, Kibalama doesn't deserve to be in the country. I mean, yet people are misinformed.
Well, here's what we'll do, Simbo. We'll definitely bring you on the show. This week, you and Kibalama will definitely come on the show. But here's the problem.
He has missed out my question.
No, here's the problem with Kibalama and the NUP Party and the NURP Party and, of course, Twaha and Dav still coming out to talk about this party. Here's where the contradiction is. Kibalama himself keeps contradicting himself on and on again. 1 minute, there's the video footage that comes out, Kibalama speaking. And then the other minute, Kibalama is contradicting the video that he spoke on.
This person. Good morning.
Good morning.
Your name and where you're calling us from?
Hello, good morning.
We can hear you clearly.
Good morning.
Yes, we can hear you. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Well, unfortunately,
my name is Nkonge Kibalama.
yes.
Oh, yes. Good to hear
And I would
from
like
you,
to
Mr.
talk to you
Nkonge
about your allegation that you are making on whether I can be trusted or not trusted.
Yes, Mr. Nkonge Kibalama. And you
Yes.
heard from the viewers, most of them saying that your word can never be trusted. So what is your justification, or what would you say about that?
Over the various contradictions that you have been put in media speaking about.
Please don't misinform your listeners.
We hear you.
The facts are here that I didn't go to court or back to court with the NUP. What is happening is that the Basile and Twala Hassan went back to court. I'm nowhere to be seen. Yes? And you don't involve me there. That case was not reported by us. It was not reported by me. I was actually dragged into court to give evidence on how the party was formed.
Okay.
Okay, you understand?
Thank you for that clarity.
I went to court as a respondent.
Well, thank you for
I was
that.
in court as a respondent. I have nothing to do with that case in court. It's the two members who went to court to challenge the ruling of Justice Musa Sekana. It has nothing to do with Kibalama. But now your program is misleading your listeners that Kibalama is back in court. Am I part of that? Am I a plaintiff in that court?
Mr.
In that court case?
Nkonge. Mr. Kibalama.
Yes.
What is your current relationship with NUP?
I'm telling you, and I'm assuring everyone around that I have no relationship with the NUP.
Okay.
Because when those people came into our political party, we had agreed, we made a memorandum of understanding to which roles each party would play. But those people never fulfilled the memorandum of understanding for their own reasons of understanding, which I don't know. And they are illegally running the political party, taking it in a different direction. When we founded that party, we had a very specific programs of developing this country and through politics, but not the way they are running the party. You hear they are fighting left and right on the streets. That's not what we intended that party to be. Yes, Kibalama Moses Nkonge, the founder of that NUP. Even when I was forming the NUP, those people were not part of us. One of we assimilated them very late last year, in July. But when we were changing it from NURP to NUP, they were never part of the same. But when we assimilated them, they planned to throw me out and my colleagues, the founders. Now all the people who founded the party, not even a single one is there on that side of theirs.
So that's all we have. We are complaining against that, and we soon we shall solve the problem. But this matter in court that has nothing to do with me, has nothing to do with anybody who came from the other side to join with the Kyagulanyi.
Well, thank you for that clarity, Mr. Kibalama. And
now, why should you insinuate that can Kibalama be trusted? Can Kibalama be trusted? You are simply trashing my name. You are calling my name. I don't know
Nkonge. Mr. Moses
yes?
Kibalama.
Yes.
I would like you to remind us the statement you made when you're handling the party to Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu at Kamocha. Remind us the words you said, because several statements have come out from you and they seem to be contradicting each other. What statement did you make?
The statement I made when I was handing over the party was that with us, we are aging. As someone aging, I'd want to see the younger stars take over responsibilities within the setup of the party. Now, when you come to take, when I smell you, I don't know whether you fire me, just fire me, that you are not any longer, you are not part of us. So that's the reason that's what was causing dilemma in the party.
Remind us.
They are assuming the party, which is they don't know how we started it, they don't know how we are running it, and so on and so forth. But I assumed that when I open up a party, like you saw, we are going through campaigns, and you have to go through recruitment and otherwise. I assumed that these boys would be doing a good job by, recruiting more people in the party, whether 10 million, whether how many million in party membership, and then the country would move on. But not to take over the party separately and think that it is their property. They will never assume the ownership of that party. That's not how parties are run. Even in DP today, Kawanga Semogere can be referred to as the elder, and he goes back, he talks to them, he addresses them, and matters like that.
Well,
doesn't mean Semogere has got to be at DP headquarters to be recognized. Even myself, I shouldn't be at party headquarters in Kamocha to be recognized as such. But it must be clear in our write-up and things we do. If you look at the memorandum of understanding that we signed with those people, it gives out certain responsibilities.
What is in the MOU that you can pick for us? The gist of the gist that is in the MOU.
Well, I think about the MOU, you can talk to the Secretary General, who is Luis Rugongoya. He will tell you what is an MOU. But the moment you go in an MOU and you don't fulfill what you agreed on, you leave that grievance, a gap of grievance. So we are aggrieved.
What is that you fail to agree on?
Come again?
What is that you have failed to agree on?
I mean, like, when you think we should have handed over that political party if they indicated that they are going to throw us out. We have failed to agree on positioning of responsibility, formation of party, organs. So we are not involved at all. They think they are running a party, but the way they are running that party, they will never succeed.
So what is your solution to the fact that the NUP right now is not running the party well? What are you going to do about it? And what of the allegations that you had said that the party was sold and then later came up to say that you cannot sell a party, Mr. Kibalama?
I mean, since you are reporters, you may contact the Kyagulanyi wherever they are and they tell you how much they bought the party. Parties are not for sale, my friend. And I never sold that political party. Why should I be aggrieved if I sold a political party? It's something I started in good spirit and I've always kept it in that line. I've never, ever sold the party.
Mr. Moses,
whenever someone buys an item, takes it over and no one follows. But here we are, you know, you people, you are misusing that channel of yours, saying we sold the party.
But that's what
Let
you
them
say,
show you
Mr. Kibalama.
let them show you
money
any
that
agreement
you
whether
owe
we sold the
NUP
party.
party and Chagulani.
Mr. Moses Kibalama, lastly from
Yes.
me to you, okay? Looking at the different statements that have come out from you, right from the court, from the ownership of the party, would you subject yourself to confirmation that you were unstable in your ways?
Well, that is yours.
Well, thank you, Mr. Kibalama, for getting in touch with us, and I appreciate that you took the honors to call us on this show and explain yourself. So he's made it clear, literally clear, that he's not the one in court, but the two people, Twaha, whose petitions were thrown out, are bringing back this particular petition, and he is just a respondent. But he still maintains that the NUP party is illegally run by the NUP party, and he's not happy by how they run the party. Well, more details will come as, of course, we bring Kibalama himself on the show to answer the questions that you have for him.